I'm David Hastings. I come from Norwich, Norfolk, England, and I'm a governor of the 2nd Air Division Memorial Trust.
What key things were involved in the preparation from your perspective over in England for the Norwich reunion that we had last year?
Initially, Joe, of course, it was working as a team under Paul King, mainly to meet Evelyn's needs as to what she wanted in the program. That was really where we all started from as a convention subcommittee. So it was trying to make certain that we could cover the whole program that Evelyn wanted.
What were some of the basic areas that you needed to plan for?
As far as I was concerned, or as far as the team was concerned, you mean? Because obviously it was split down. My main job was the transportation side, both the Heathrow reception and the trains and the buses, and then of course also the printing of all the printed work and the daily newspapers, and the liaison with, of course, the Royal Air Force to get the day at Coltishall and the Red Arrows and so on.
And how much time prior to the reunion did you take to start your planning?
I suppose the convention subcommittee under Paul was meeting almost monthly as a meeting, once a month. And then, of course, we were going away and working again on our own particular part of that team.
And you started
we started as soon as we got back from Pheasant Run, really. And then into deep detail once we got into about October, November. Then we really started to meet.
Tell us what you think about what was the value of the Norwich reunion.
I think it was two things, Joe, wasn't it? It was really, I think, the 2nd Air Division coming back. That was a tremendous thing for Norfolk and for the county. And also, I think from the 2nd Air Division, we hope anyway, I think when they came back, the feeling of warmth and friendship that's endured for all those years. But for Norfolk, it was wonderful that you were coming back home, as we said. You were coming back to those fields of America.
What do you think was the impact on the English people of the Americans returning?
Very emotional, very emotional. I think we saw that on the arrival when the trains first drew into Thorpe Station. The amount of local people that were there with placards and the Anglian show band, and I haven't seen dancing at Thorpe Station on the platform since the war. That's the first time we've had that sort of emotional welcome, I think.
Well, you know, David, your people, your English people who were there when the Americans first came over in the 40s, and our people who were there in the 40s who will just pass away soon, it's a matter of years. Have any of us thought of perpetuating this relationship, and in what way?
I think you've started well by forming the Heritage League. I think that is superb, and of course in our country we're doing our side by encouraging our children and our youngsters to understand what it meant. It's easier for us, of course, in England because our youngsters can actually go onto the airfields, so it's possibly a lot easier for us than you with with your youngsters. But I think all of us have got to work hard so that the next generation can also enjoy the friendships we've enjoyed, meeting you and knowing you, so that our children and your children can really carry on that tradition, because without people, that wonderful room isn't going to be the same. It has to live, and therefore we must get generation after generation to carry on that friendship.
What do you think was one of the most outstanding events of the reunion, and why do you think so?
Oh, that's a hard one, because there were so many, Joe, weren't there, really? I think the arrival at Thorpe Station was one of the most heartwarming experiences, so that was the first one. Heathrow, of course, was extremely good. The cathedral service and that special fanfare was undoubtedly a high spot. RAF Coltishall and the Red Arrows. Being with you at Madingley, of course, the cemetery at Cambridge, that was a high spot for us, a very moving time. And of course Monday, the visits to the bases. I think all of us, all the villages felt the same. In fact, they're still talking about it in Norfolk now, and will go on for years, I think. But both for you and for us in the villages, that again was a high spot. And the banquet. It was all high spots, really.
What one moment or incident can you relate that captured the spirit of the reunion?
Oh, again, there were so many. I would think one of the best, I suppose, was watching everybody's faces when you actually met the villagers who you knew in the 40s. I suppose that coupled, well, both the cathedral service and Madingley, I think all three together summed up the feeling of that reunion, the friendship.
What would you do over or differently to make it even better the next time, if that's possible?
I don't know. We've said when we got back, if we had to do another, we'd be hard put to do one like that. Various things like the red arrows, I don't think you could get that again. You certainly wouldn't get that first time fanfare again. If we had another fanfare, it would be, okay, we've had that before. The special, we're going to have to work pretty hard to find something different, but hopefully if you do come back, we'll endeavor to find that touch, but it's not going to be easy after that one.
How did this reunion differ from the one previous to that one?
I think mainly, Helen, because Evelyn had said this was the last time back. So as far as we were concerned in our team, it had to be unique. And that's why we went out of the way to try and find so many things that hopefully the division would enjoy.
So it had that flavor of maybe last time a lot of people.
Yeah.
David, could you tell us some of the frustrations that you went through in planning these events?
I don't think really we didn't have too many frustrations. I think mainly because it was quite wonderful as far as we were concerned. Everybody we asked, as soon as we said it was for the 2nd Air Division, like the coach operators, British Rail, Heathrow, the Royal Air Force, everybody went out of their way. So not really frustrations, because they provided more than we asked for. Every organisation was superb. But obviously in Norwich, to house and feed 1,000 people is very difficult. We're just not geared for that sort of thing. So frustrations, possibly no. Worries, yes. Was it going to rain inside the huge marquee? Was the outside caterer going to be up to it? But really frustrations, no, I don't think we had frustrations. And the coach operator, again, I suppose we worried a little bit about bussing everybody about, but she again was tremendous, her and her team. So yeah, we didn't have too many frustrations.
There are a lot of humorous incidents that we know occurred. Is there any one major humorous incident that you recall?
The only humorous one was when we had a coach hiccup in Cambridge, I suppose. I've never lived that one down.
What happened then?
Somehow some group got on the wrong bus, so we ended up short of seats to get people home from Cambridge. And I've never lived that one down.
How did you solve that problem?
What?
How did you solve that problem?
We had a coach that broke down that started it, but we solved it. We got some people home by car, and we managed to get another coach out. So it was a slight delay, but we all got home in time. But I think the other funny thing was when Ken Maisie was doing the fanfare, and he then said that he would start it with the sound of the Liberators in the cathedral, and we said, well, you better ask the Dean. We're not going to risk asking the Dean if we can have aircraft engines inside Norwich Cathedral. But the Dean was quite happy to agree to that as well.